Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Got my R1 out here and a little puppy. She wants to keep me company. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna remove my engine for a fourth time. Just because of I thought I fixed the problem, but I didn't. So I'm gonna take it apart. I'm just gonna wait for the new engine to come in, and then I'm just gonna swap it out. And I'd rather have my bike without an engine right now. So when I get the new one, I can just pop it in. And then I'm gonna show you guys step by step how to remove your engine and the steps you need to take. Okay, as far as right now, I got my radiator removed, my fairings all removed out of the bike. My exhaust is still on there, so I'm gonna drain my engine from the oil right now, and then I'm gonna take my exhaust off, which there's gonna be like 8 bolts right over there. It's a lot easier taking the exhaust off without a radiator. And then I'm gonna start moving up to the top. I'm gonna remove my tank. As far as right now, I took the seat off, and then I went go ahead and took my side panel fairing off, the tank fairing out, and a whole bunch of stuff on the inside is kind of removed, as far as like intake, grip in there. And then you guys should be able to figure out how to do that stuff. That stuff is pretty simple, how to remove. I mean, this process is really not that hard to remove, It's just pain in the butt doing it yourself, just because the engine's pretty heavy. And then you have to set some kind of tire or some kind of abrasion underneath the engine so it doesn't fall and crack the oil pan. But let's get it started. I'm gonna go ahead and drain my oil, just so I don't have to fool with it when I put on the bike. On the R1 is a size 17, the oil pan, oil. Get a little tap, and it should come loose. If it doesn't, there's new oil I put in there, so it shouldn't be dirty, as you could see. Alright, it's pretty much done now. I'm draining, so I'm gonna go and clean off my oil drain plug. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug it back up, just so I don't lose it. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove these headers bolts. There should be 8 of them. Remove that. There'll be like a little pin right here for your exhaust, so you gotta remove that. And you don't forget your CO2 sensor, because if you yank on this, you can unplug it or break the plug up top. So you might as well unscrew this first, this little thing, and then you want to unscrew all the bolts, and then the exhaust should come off pretty easy. So yeah, so the tools you're gonna need for removing your CO2 sensor and your header bolts. I'm using a size 12 socket with my little ratchet, pretty handy. And then I'm also using size 22 millimeter for the CO2 sensor. Doesn't take much to get it loose. Got the CO2 sensor off. I've got the screws out. Got all 8. There's our exhaust. Pretty light and small. What I'm doing now is got the exhaust off. So now I'm just gonna put the bolts back just so I don't lose them. So got that off. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and get this clutch cable out the way because it will be in our way once we start getting the engine out and stuff like that. So this is everything we're gonna need to do for the bottom. Okay, so now the tools we're gonna need for this, we're gonna need 3/16 Allen wrench. It's gonna be 2 screws right here. Yeah, Allen wrench here. And then there's gonna be a little pin. You're gonna have to kind of unplug for the wire to come out. So it's out now. As soon as I can. There you go. You really have to take the top one off just because it's not gonna be in your way. So now we're gonna start moving up top. Start getting the tank out of the way, fully out of the way. Getting the airbox in and everything. So for the tank, you're gonna have 2 bolts, one right here, one on the other side, same exact spot. One's gonna be over here that you're gonna have to remove. One more over here. And then you're also gonna have to remove a screw that holds the tank in place, which is, there's gonna be a little cover right here. Then you have to like push out or just pull it out. And it'll be same size Allen wrench, 3/16 that you have to take out. And so I got my tank flipped to the side. I put my sweater on the back so I don't scratch the paint. And for the video's sake, I turned my tank sideways because it's kind of difficult to show you guys on the camera, but I turned it sideways. And so there's gonna be one fuel pump plug, and there's gonna be one more right over here. And then you're also gonna have to remove this little screw. It's like, it is T25. That's the tool you're gonna need to remove this. So and once you take this out, remember you always want to put your little nuts and bolts back to the place they go so you don't lose them, because it's gonna be real hard for you. You're gonna try to put them in one place and you're gonna lose them after you don't touch them in a while. And for this, you just press and then plug out. So that's one. I'm recording with one hand, and so you get that. And then you're also gonna have to remove this little hose, and it might have I don't know if there's still pressure in the fuel lines, you might get some gas on you. So let's see. I've removed this little thing, unplug this little plastic thing. You're gonna put it back after you take the hose off. So put it to the side, and you see this kind of hose right here. You kind of have to press it from both sides. Push forward and press it, and then remove it. Lay down paper towel, and then just be careful. It might, the gas, I don't know how strong the gas pressure is gonna be, but it might shoot out. Last time I was doing this, I got a little bit of gas in my eye. So what you do is pinch, push forward, and release. So I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, just so I don't get sprayed. So I'm gonna put you guys right over here. Come on. There might be a lot of pressure on it. Please don't squirt. Squirt. Oh, you saw that little squirt. So there was some. You also just unplug these right here, 2 of these. You can kind of take them out with the finger. There, just upright. I wouldn't flip it over. Make sure, hopefully your tank is not full I'll make sure your tank is empty or empty it out. But make sure you're just standing upright like this and not leaking gas everywhere. Right, I remember I put this to the side. It goes for a gas tank, so don't forget this piece. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this piece right back on the gas tank at the bottom. Right over there. Just like this. Put it back in, let it sit there until you come back to it. I almost forgot that. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all my bolts. I open up, your air filter will be right here. You can remove that. And then, pretty expensive. You can kind of pinch it out, push it out with your fingers. There will be 2 on top and then there will be 3 at the bottom. So you do that. Let me get my light so you guys can see better. Alright, we got the light, so see these 2 pieces right here? So you kind of unclip that, that's unclipped. So I put this to the side, somewhere you're not gonna lose. So that's out the way. And then you're gonna have Allen wrenches, 3/16 I believe. You got 1. You have to unhook the back spring right here. Just push it out with your finger. Just like this, it'll pop out and be okay. So you can raise this up. Then you can get those bolts out. And so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You got 6 bolts removed. That's what's gonna remove your entire tray. On some of these bikes, you might have a hose right here on the side. Some don't. Some it's like a smog block off, I think, or something like that. Long Allen wrenches. Okay, go ahead and remove this little sucker. I do it with my hand. So I'm gonna push it out with my fingers. So I got that hose out. There's holding this thing. So now I'm picking this up. There should be another wire right there. That's what your throttle body kind of, or this motor right here, that's what holds it. So, there you go. Got that hose out. So now put your tool back where it was. Now we got this piece unplugged. We're going to put it down and put your pieces back together the way they were, or semi, just so you know where everything goes by and it's a lot easier to put back together. And then coming back to the cover. So the cover has one of these. See how this thing goes to your gas line? It's kind of a pain in the butt, so you pull it out and then you're gonna have to go back and get some of these tools. And be careful not to get gas on you, because it'll be a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna put you guys down. We'll use this little thing, this little tool, to pinch on the inside and release the hose. I got a feeling this guy's gonna, I'm gonna grab some paper towels. I'm gonna put it right here while I'm doing this. Okay, so that came out pretty easy. You are gonna leak gas in places, like from the gas line. So that, now we're gonna come back to this little thing. I think it's the way you remove it. It's kind of pain in the butt, to be honest. You gotta pinch on the side, you'll figure it out how to do it. So I want to go ahead and unplug this plug. That was the only thing that's holding it besides this little hose. Got that. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put this assembly all together. Put that together and put it to the side. Out of the way, just so it's a lot easier to put back together. So boom, gas tank off. We got the airbox off. We got our exhaust off. Yeah, so far so good. So you got engine, you got everything from top off. So now after you remove that, you can go ahead and remove this piece. There'll be like a little clip right here that holds you. You're gonna have to kind of push it out or get something like a screwdriver and like pry it out. And once you pry it out, because then you also want to go ahead and unplug this little plug, which shouldn't be too hard. Then hopefully I can get it out. There you go, got that off. And we got this piece off, and we're gonna go ahead and put this close to this, just because that's the way it goes. If we want to go further, we can just put this under, just the way it goes, like this. That's the way that goes. Boom. Okay, whatever I saw, I plugged that up, put my gas line, put this, whatever that goes to, that little, and then this holds your smug or whatever. Got that out. So the next thing we were gonna wanna do before we remove the engine, on this throttle body, we're gonna have to remove these wire, your throttle cables. You have to go ahead and loosen these up, loosen that up, and then you can push it forward and kind of unsnap it from there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that going. I'll show you. Let's see if you can actually see right there. Okay, so it is a size 10 millimeter. So you gotta go ahead and unscrew this. It won't be too hard. Screw that in, start moving it. Move this hose out the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this. You can just pop it out like this. And then I'll use one of these hooks, pull it up, and all you have to do is just slide it out, just like that. That's the top one. Same thing on the bottom, you unscrew it, go to one of the hooks. You'd probably want to have 2 of these, because it would be a lot easier. So I'm gonna fish these out with 2 of these. Go ahead and bring this up. I'm gonna hold it with one of these. And I'm gonna fish the line. Just lock it somehow. Push this other wire forward, just so you can see where the cable, and then use this hooked one to slide it out, just like that. It would just come out just like that, and then you can remove these wires, push them to the side, just so they'll be out of the way, and that's pretty much it. This is what I'm talking about. See that little slide? I can't really see if you can, but there's a little slide. That's how you slide it in. Same way as practically you're doing the clutch cable. But yeah, that's how you move that. Now I'm gonna remove all these wires, all these clips. Pinch and pull. 1, 2, just like that. Also be careful, just so you don't break them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. Go ahead and unpinch those. I'm gonna go ahead and use 2 hands. So I want to go ahead and remove my coil plugs. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, just because 4-cylinder on R1. And then smog block off plates are right here. And then there's gonna be another connector that you have to remove. So in total, I've removed 5 so far. And then there's also gonna be one more sensor on top of your heads, and it's this little thing. Should be able to pull it out, push it in and out. There you go. And remove that. So in total, there's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Unplug that. Move it to the side. Unplug that, move to the side. That. You just kind of follow the wires and see where they lead. Some of these wires come all the way down inside the engine, which we're gonna come to the side, and we're gonna have to remove all these, unplug all these just so they're out of the way, so when the engine comes out and drops, we can have all that, right? Alright, so the next thing, after all those wires, we're gonna go ahead and push some of these hoses out the way forward. That hose, you just gotta walk through all the stuff that's clipped and just follow the wires. So this is your brake wire right here. So you obviously don't want that still connected to the bike. So we're just gonna go ahead and unclip these two green wires. Will just be our next step. It's kind of pinch. And so we'll go ahead and unclip these green ones. Should be one side pinch. Pretty easy. And both of these, like one cannot fit the other one. The owner specifically can fit certain ones. So we got that unclipped. After we get these green wires unclipped, we're gonna go ahead and still gotta unclip this throttle motor sensor right here. Just like that. Gotta remove that. So the way you unclip that is you gotta pinch right here. Get these wires out. These wires can, these ones, as long as you remove them over there, they can stay on the motor, just because the motor is gonna come out and the throttle body is gonna go with it. So I got this. Those hoses go all the way down there. So I mean, we can literally just leave them there or take them out. Guess we can just pull them out, put them close to the gas tank so it stays there. So these wires right here is gonna stay on the frame when you remove the motor. And so some of these wires that like go to the motor, you gotta have to unplug these. So this will be our next step. All of this is a pinch. Switch goes down again. Pinch and unplug. Alright, kind of gotta close it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug that one. That goes somewhere down there. So we gotta go ahead and unplug this too. Very careful when you're unplugging these so the wires don't come out from the, I don't know how old your engine is. Mine had. Got this one unplugged right here. We'll go ahead and unplug this too. These are kind of pain in the asses. There we go, got that one. Some more pain in the ass. So what you do on this one is you pull this thing up, pull it up, and then you'll be able to remove it. Next thing you probably want to do is go ahead and you're gonna have to unclip these wires, your ground wires. This goes to your battery, or actually back. So mine was kind of tight, so I had to use one of these vice grips. Put it in like this, hold it with one hand, and then use the other hand to unloosen it. So we got it kind of loose. I'm gonna go by hand. Same thing, you unplug that, put the screw right back where it was, just so you don't lose it. Then this cable right here, you kind of have to let, alright, what I'm gonna do is, I should have done this from the beginning, unhook my battery, but I didn't. It's kind of dumbass. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the battery out so I can lift it and we can pull the cable on it from underneath. We got everything disconnected from my battery. What we gotta do now is just pull this guy out. This should be your number one. Thing you do is take the battery out and then just put it to the side. Where is it? It's kind of being held down there. Take that. The wire's off. Kind of lift this up a little bit. Then you can work on taking the wire out. Take that. Put this rubber piece back in where it was, just so you don't lose it. So this here ground, I'll just leave that there. It goes down there. So we got this wire out. We got push on top. All the wires that you got on top, just kind of push them to the side where you can see. See, I push these wires inside. They're gonna stay in the motor. Actually, no, they're not staying on the motor. These wires right here. I'm gonna go ahead and unclip it, just in case. It's your rear brake sensor. We're just gonna unplug that just to be safe. Don't matter. Which mine's kind of cracked, so it's kind of sucks. The O2 sensor we can leave. So I think as far as right now, we got everything unplugged from the top. Now we're just gonna walk around. Okay, we also gotta go ahead and we don't have to worry about this. The only thing we gotta worry about is this one right here. We're gonna remove this one. So this one's gonna go with the motor. Mine is kind of fudged up. Yeah, it kind of sucks. So, alright, so on the right side over here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna remove this bolt. This is your gear shifter. So unscrew the top. I think it's like size 8. You can remove this out the way, then put the bolt right back where it was. So shifter. Just put that down. And then we're also gonna have to remove this just because it's connected to the engine. And it's a size 16. Mine is aftermarket, so yours I think is gonna be like a bolt size. So yeah, mine is different than yours. Mine is aftermarket. And then I can just remove that. It's like a size 19, I think, as of right now. Gonna go ahead and put this to the side so I don't lose it. Alright, so there's an oil sensor right here, right underneath. So if you follow the wire up all the way to the top, it's connected right over here. I'll have like a little plug, but my plug broke, so I had to solder these wires together, so I did. And I don't know what, all you guys have to do is unplug it. So what I'm gonna do next, since you see this is kind of gonna be in the way when you come taking this motor down, because this will be in the way. So what I'm gonna do is take these things out. I'm gonna take my foot pegs out, put it down, take this out. Then you're also gonna have to unscrew your rear axle just so you can slide forward and take your chain off the sprocket, just because the motor's gonna come down and the sprocket is right there. So that's the next thing we're gonna do, is we're gonna take the kickstand down, off, and then we're gonna unloosen the rear axle, and then we're gonna slide the bolts forward just so we can get some slack on the chain. We gotta get that going, and then after that, I think all we'll have a bolt left down here, down there, and then right here. Same thing on the other side. So the size of these two bolts is gonna be size T50. I don't know if you can see it, but T50. I'll put those on here. And as you can see, they're that's the kind of socket they're using, like a star or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the impact and impact those out, just because those are gonna be hard on there from all the times that you've put your bike down on the kickstand and stuff like that. So that one. Two. And what we're gonna, so I want to go ahead and unscrew that. So that's my extender for, if you don't have any aftermarket stuff, it's gonna be slightly different, but it's the same process. So I got that the way. So now I'm gonna see, there's a bolt right there. You gotta push that bolt out, and there's gonna be like a little locking pin that you're gonna have to special tool, but you can literally go to Walmart and buy some chisels to remove that. Alright, so the next thing, we're gonna come back to the rear tire. So mine is already kind of loose, since I've done this process before. I'm not gonna need a big breaker bar or nothing like that. So all I'm gonna need to do now is grab this size 12 inch. Grab the size 12, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna unscrew it, push it back and everything. You just gotta loosen these up all the way back, and then screw them forward to go back, and then do same thing on the other side, and then just push the tire forward. And that'll get your chain loose, and then you can take it out of your teeth. So let me do this with 2 hands, and I'll come back. We go ahead and push this pin back, this bolt back. So all we gotta do now is push the tire forward. You can see our chain just loosen its slack. So then you should be able to just pop the chain. Just spin the tire backwards. So the chain is off. Push it to your side. And what you're gonna go do is front. Take this chain off. Put the chain a little bit back just so it's not bending. And bend a little bit more. So now we can put the chain back on the sprocket. So the chain is out of the way. Alright, so we want to go ahead and take our reservoir out of the way. The way you take that off is gonna be these 2 bolts holding this bracket in. As soon as you take those off, and then you can able to get to these 2 screws right here. You unloosen those, and then the reservoir will come out, and then your top reservoir hose will come out and stuff like that. You got bolt up in here that you gotta push out, slide out. You also got a bolt right here that you have to unscrew. You have a bolt. I'm gonna remove frame sliders, and there's gonna be bolts right here. And it drives right through motor mount right there, so you're gonna take that out. And then same thing on this side. You got a bolt right here, on top only. Take that out. And then you got a bolt right here that I'm gonna see. I can push this, that's the bolt holds in place, and there's one more bolt up top. And after that, you see this little thing that they want you to do, have like a little special tool. What you do for that one, I made my own custom little tool. Not this one, it's this one right here. All it is so all we got left now, this final steps, is motor mount right here, this little screw right here, or like a little big bolt. You remove that from motor mount, and there's gonna be 2 long bolts right here. The one will come off from from the bottom will come out there. There should be one more. This one has a nut on this side, so you remove that. And you can also push that pin out from there. And the only things after you remove the front ones, there's the same one on the other side. After you remove the front ones and all these big pins, I'll have some kind of support right here, like a jack or something like that. And then there's gonna be a special tool you're gonna need for the other side once you remove everything, which is Yamaha wants you to have like a special tool or something like that, because it's like that's what keeps your motor. It's like pinched in after you remove the bolts. So what I did is I went to Walmart, bought this chisel for like $7, and I kind of flattened out the top. And then what it does now, it fits perfectly in there, and I could use a socket on the other end with the impact and just drive it out from top and bottom, and the motor should just drop. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you want me to make more videos like this in the future and stuff like that, hopefully I don't have to, because I don't want to have blown engines again. But if you liked it, subscribe, share. So the size of the top bolt is gonna be size 14. So all you gotta do is remove the size 14. Still stuck in there. So this one's gonna be size 14. You take that bolt off, and now you should be able to push it out. Just use the spare one that you took out from the bottom. Just kind of drive it out, because the bolt, the big long screws, they should come out easily whoever did the motor. So the longer one's gonna be on top, and the shorter one's gonna go on the bottom. You see the reason why it's still holding on. As soon as I remove these bolts right here, the motor this will still hold on. So as soon as I take these off, the motor should still hang in there by those special tool kind of brackets that's holding it pinched in place. So I'm gonna unscrew these. I'm gonna jack it up a little bit with the jack, and then I'm gonna try to remove the motor and stuff like that. So yeah. So as you can see, I want to go ahead and remove the bottom now, the top ones. It's about to be this long of a ball. I've removed one from over here. This one's gonna have like a space in between, so remove those. And there's no bolts in there or nothing. So the only thing that's holding it in place is this little special tool. So as soon as I get those off with the impact, you want to have something holding the motor so it doesn't drop and bust the bottom. Just like that. I want to go ahead and unscrew that. The motor did drop. Put the abrasion on the bottom so nothing hurt. So it's pretty nice. So now we're just gonna follow up with some of these wires. Let's see. Make sure nothing was connected. So nothing is connected. So that's the only thing that we had to remove. So we did everything pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now, everything's unplugged. Yes. Did we miss anything? No, by the looks of it, we got everything on it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put my motor on this thing. So I'm gonna take this off, mount it on the motor, and then I'm gonna mount the motor on here. And just like that, you guys drop the motor. I mean, I'm by myself and I'm doing this. And the way you want, the motor's already dropped. What you could do is, the bike is light now, super light. So you can do front tire, pick it up and move it back, and then the motor will stand right there. So let's see if I can do it.